Welcome to pregame.tv. I'm Ted Sevransky, Teddy Covers, joined here by Steve Fezzik. And today, we are going to break down two Major League Baseball season win totals. Steve's got an under for you. I've got an over for you. So let's get it started and begin our discussion with the worst team in baseball,
Easily.
The Philadelphia Phillies.
Easily. And, you know, sometimes you bet on sport, and you bet based upon information, and you bet based upon the marketplace. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, I like the fact of taking a team that traditionally was a contender, was at the highest level, and has gone into the dumper. And that's the case with the Philadelphia Phillies. Teams like that, it becomes an absolute house sale, where you look at their current personnel, they're lined at 68.5, 69 wins was their opener. And all the betting markets have done is go under on this team. Mm-hmm. Every sharp I've spoken to says this team stinks. They are absolutely going to be in the toilet. You look at the division, you look at improvement with some of the other teams, and frankly, even if they're on pace to win 72 games, I'm not worried, because there will be a fire sale. They will be jettisoning all their players. So you look at all the baseball prospectus and the other places that they might project the Philadelphia to get to 69 or 70 wins. Those players aren't going to be there come August. I'm counting on them. It's not the NBA. We're not going for ping pong balls, but I really think they're going to jettison their team. I like the Phillies under.
Yeah, and I certainly wouldn't argue with that. And remember, in Major League Baseball, every year there's going to be a team or two that loses 100 games.
You know, you say that, there's a prop right now. Mm-hmm. Most games lost by any team, and it's 98. So when you say every year someone loses 100, that's another way to get at this, is you could play that prop as well.
Sure. Most years a team loses 100 games, and certainly Philadelphia is that candidate. And you talk about a pitcher, a potential 20-game winner type arm in Cole Hamels. Hamels being shopped around. There's no chance he will be there by or after the trading deadline. I don't think Philly's going to necessarily keep him that long. Some contender's going to want him, and they're going to deal Philadelphia a bunch of prospects. So let's make it official, shall we? You want to go?
Very good. Major League Baseball. I'm excited about the baseball season upcoming. I'm actually going to be handicapping select teams within MLB. Mm-hmm. One of them is not the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, talk for a minute about that strategy, because I know that you've revised your approach for baseball this year.
Right. What I'm going to do is I'm focusing on 4 teams this year, all in the National League. Take the Cubs, the Reds, the Padres, and the Dodgers. I'm going to watch every one of those games that I can. I'm going to be going through their box scores. I'm going to learn everything I can about those 4 teams. Theory being I will know more than the marketplace about just those 4 teams, and I should be able to win with that, especially with the knowledge of their pitchers. I won't be doing that with the Phillies, but I don't need to be able to name a player on the Phillies, because I'm reading the betting marketplace, and it's screaming that the Phillies are going to go under this year. And I might add, this works in all pro sports every year. If you've just followed daily what's going on their season win numbers, you can see the money coming in or against the team, and you know that's what the sharps are going to do. Having said that, if you play the Dallas Cowboys under 8 wins, you get your teeth kicked in last year in the NFL. But for the most part, you can find solid 60% plus bets in the season win markets. I'm on the Phillies under 68 wins.
We use the Cowboys as a bad example. There was a ton of steam on the Carolina Panthers under the total last year, and that, of course, cashed before December.
And you know all about season wins, and having historically covered 73%, I believe, in your season win report in the NFL. I don't think either one of us is going to hit 73% against the spread playing sides during the year.
No, but we're trying to hit 100% with these 2 plays. You like Philadelphia under, and I certainly wouldn't argue with that. I like an over, and I want to hear you argue against it. But let's talk about that over right now. I'm going to look at the defending AL champions. The Kansas City Royals came within a single game of winning a World Series title last year. Yes, they did suffer a handful of key offseason losses, most notably James Shields, their elite level starter. That being said, they're lined at 80.5 wins this year. If Kansas City finishes 500, we're going to cash our ticket. And there's so many things to like about this team. Most notably, well, let's start with the bullpen, because baseball games are won and lost in the latter stages, and I don't think there's a better bullpen in baseball. When we look at, and they bring in, Frazier's coming back, so they got Davis and Herrera and Holland. That trio alone, 204 innings last year, 258 strikeouts, 62 walks, only 3 home runs allowed. It is an elite level bullpen. You have to love Ventura as the #1 starter. Nobody threw more 100-mile-an-hour pitches in baseball last year. I like some of the young bats, guys that had underachieved. Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Lorenzo Cain, all these guys underachieved, and last year kind of started to get it together. I think all 3 of those guys are capable of having better than average seasons. And I know Kendrys Morales and Alex Rios aren't going to excite anyone. We're talking about veterans that are on the back end of their careers. But you know what? They're savvy veterans. They have a chance in KC. And I'm not asking for dominance. I'm asking for mediocrity. 81-81 cashes this bet. And frankly, you look at the rest of the division. Detroit, good but not great. Cleveland, good but not great. The White Sox, good but not great. Minnesota, awful. There's no elite teams they're going to be battling with. I think Kansas City's in this race. I expect them to finish at 500 or better, and I'm going to make it official, Fez.
All right, I just want to say I hate the manager, and when they win 78 games and you lose because he bunts every 3rd inning, I will blame it completely on this ridiculous decision. I hate managers that like bunt, and the fact that he did it and got away with it and they got to the World Series, it's like teaching a child the colors wrong, and he'll do it again, and that's what's going to cost you your bet. Go ahead and make it.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because I talked about the bullpen. The other strength for Kansas City is their speed. This is a team that scratches out runs. They get an infield single, someone steals second base, they bunt him over to third, he gets in on a sacrifice fly. They play an NL style of ball in the American League. It worked well for them last year. I expect it to work well for them this year. Go.
Just like Joe Pesci says in My Cousin Vinny. So it's like, I guess the laws of baseball physics don't apply to the Kansas City Royals, where your expectation of runs goes down, but because they're fast, it goes magically up. These must be magical jumping base runners, like magical jumping grids. So go ahead. Let's make it official.
Let's talk about 2 Utes here for a minute. I'm going to make it official. Kansas City over 80.5 wins. That's my season win total best bet right here on pregame.tv. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back again with free pick videos. Stay tuned.
NBA coming up. It's outstanding.